Stop being a copy, be an original, be unique in your own life. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can do that. How can you live more authentically, more in alignment with who you really are, with your true self or your higher self, whatever you want to call it. I feel like this is a question that often get asked to me, right? I want to do this, I want to do that, or I'm looking for purpose, meaning, the next thing in my life, and I'm just so confused, right? And what I see a lot of people do is that they look outside of them on social media, on the media, on all those people who've made it, who have it all together, assumingly, especially on social media. And the ego mind attach and project and be like, if I'm like them, if I have the same job, or if I invest in the same things, or whatever the situation may be, if I am like them, act like them, be like them, then I'll get the same result. Then I'll be happy, I'll feel worthy, I'll feel successful, I'll feel free, I'll feel loved, or I'll have amazing relationship, right? And so we go and we chase, right? And we chase and we chase and we chase. And often, like in the process of doing that, we lose ourselves, our true self, simply because their path, their version of reality, their authentic living might not be ours. And so externally it looks good, it looks appealing to the ego, it looks like, yes, this will fix me, this will give me what I've been seeking for so long. But if it's not authentic to who you really are, or your path, or what creates the most expansion in your life, you end up climbing the wrong ladder. And so I want to say that there's nothing wrong with seeking role models and mentors and courses and things like that, because there is a way where we can learn, where we can grow, where we can become more. But I feel like that system has a certain limit, because if you don't know how to make those authentic directions to really propel your life in a particular way, and then seek those tools, seek that knowledge, seek those things that can help you expand in that area, then it's like you don't have that inner compass that can guide you toward what can create the most wealth, the most abundance, the most flow, the most naturally the state of being that will create the most successful living for you. And unfortunately, when you see people following just ego goals, what looks good externally, all those trappings that the world projects, and that we feel like, okay, when I get those things, then I'll be happy, I'll feel successful, I can prove myself, right? Or other people will like me, whatever it may be. And that's often, ego goals often leads in pain and suffering and stress and burning out. So the question then is, how can you find a simple way to access that inner compass? This is something that in my life I struggled with a lot in the past. What's my purpose? What am I meant to do? What should I do? What's the next job? What's the next thing am I supposed to do, right? And so you read books, you watch stuff, but the question remains. And one day I came across this very simple way of accessing that inner guidance. And it's actually very simple. All you need to do is understand that your state of being, fundamentally, in the most simple sense, has only two states. You can either be in a state of contraction. A state of contraction feels like tight, energy going in. It's heavy. It's tightness in your stomach or in your chest, or you feel closed, or you feel like that stress is the best word to describe it, right? So there's that contraction in your body. And so you feel like the energy is just really low. And so when you're in that state, you know that on some level you're operating from a state of lower consciousness, lower emotion, like stress and anxiety and fear and doubt and all of this. So that is not in alignment with your true self, with your source, with God, with whatever you want to call it, right? With that guiding presence in you, or with your heart. Or you can also be in a state of expansion, right? So you're either in contraction or in expansion. And expansion feels the opposite. This is when you feel good, when you feel alive, when you feel energetic, when energy is simply flowing out. And so it's very easy to know in any single moment, where are you? You can simply pause and ask yourself right now, am I feeling contracted or am I feeling expanded? Right? And of course, there's a range. You can feel extremely contracted, or you can feel extremely expansive, right? And you can feel like just a little bit. But that answer will come very simple as soon as you check in. So why is that important? It's important because when you're in a state of contraction, you know that this is not the most authentic way I'm feeling right now. So whatever I'm thinking about, whatever the decision I'm making, whatever I'm engaging in, however I'm being, is not the most authentic. So on some level, I need to change. And this can be really good for making decisions. This can be really good for just surrounding yourself with people or things or environments or goals or, anything around you really that can help you create that expansion, or where that expansion come in naturally, because we all have our own unique ways, our own unique things that fills and create that expansion. For some people it's painting, making videos, playing sports, crunching numbers, doing all kind of different things that for you is easy, is normal, is natural. But for other people it's boring, or it's hard, or it's difficult, or they just don't get it. So when you find in your life those things that have always created that state of expansion, even a little bit or a lot, and you start to do more of that, and you start to make time for that in your life, not only you create more expansion, so you raise your energy, you start to live in that state. And the more you do that, the more you will start to become in resonance with that energy, right? This is the whole thing we talk on this channel a lot, like it's who you're being is what you're creating. So when you live more in expansion and less in contraction, you're bound to create more expansive things in your life. So you start attracting people, things, and ideas and synchronicity. But more importantly, when you make a point of making those decisions, of asking yourself, what will create the most expansion in my life today, in my future? What are the goals? What are the things where I feel like it will help me, or it will, just make me happy? It will just make me feel very content. It will just make me feel very alive. Where can I give in a way that just create that state, right? There's so many ways you can ask that answer based on where you are. Even a decision, should I go to that thing? Should I talk to that person? Is that person right for me? You can check in with your heart on whether something will create contraction or expansion. And again, you have never 100% certainty that is the right answer, but at least when you start trusting, in my personal experience, when you start trusting your inner compass, your heart, it will lead you to the right answer. It might not mean that that thing will work out successfully, but it might mean that after that, something better will come in, because the heart has its own way. The thing here is this: when you truly trust that if you follow your expansion, and if you live more and more and more in that state that is most authentic to you, that is most in alignment with who you really are, and you take action, and you align your thoughts and your mindset and your goals, and all the knowledge and all the things that you need then to propel you even more in that direction, you have to trust that your life will reorganize itself according to your state. Because again, the principle is this: life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you who you are. It's very easy to look at a state of contraction. A lot of people are stuck in those states. They call it normal, but really they're stressed, they're angry, they're afraid, they're burned out. They always live in that state of contraction, and they feel like that's their default, and then they wonder, why is my life just creating more and more and more of the same? Why am I keep attracting those situations, those bills, those things? Why am I hitting that glass ceiling? Or why do I feel like I freaking hate my life, right? If you're constantly in a state of contraction, that's your default. You're not gonna have a positive, amazing outlook on life. So the only way you can be most authentic in the micro and the macro aspect of your world is by tuning in that guiding system. And when I do it in my life, it's been a game changer. And so I strongly invite you to ask yourself, in the small decision, in the big decisions, in the things that you want to do, in the goals that you have right now, are those goals ego-based, simply because I feel like it's going to make me rich, or it's going to make me feel fulfilled or loved or whatever, and I'm chasing something, but that's not really going to give me what I really crave? Or actually I'm already aligned, and those goals I've been working on and so on are already creating expansion in my life? Simply realigning yourself, speaking your truth, expressing your truth, listening to that expansion in your life will be a game changer in your life. Do it for at least 30 days, put it to try, see what happens in your life, and let me know in the comment. That's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let me know also in the comment, what is it in your life that creates the most expansion in you? All right, be well. I'll see you next time.